Hello, it's Ruddy Duck and welcome back to the channel. This time I've got two replays for you in the recently buffed Tier 9 Italian Heavy, the Progetto 66. So essentially you're on tracks out for the Italian Heavies. So before I was putting off getting the Tier 10 because, well, it was trash. Let's be honest, let's not hide it. It was awful. The reload was terrible and it just wasn't worth getting. But now they've buffed the Tier 10, just have several buffs. They've essentially, on the Tier 10, done a big buff to the reload of the tank while nerfing the accuracy a little bit. But essentially now, it's not an overpowered tank, but it is playable from what I understand, and it is well worth actually getting. So because of that, I thought we'd get the Tier 9 out and start grinding up to the Tier 10 so I can get some replays in that. And I've got two replays for you today in the Tier 9. The Tier 9 I use the 120mm gun, and essentially the main buff to this tank is they've increased the pen a little bit on the AP rounds. It's only up by like 17 or something like that, but it does actually make quite a big difference, that increased pen. And yeah, it's quite good. I've always enjoyed playing the, not enjoyed, but I've always felt like the Tier 9 tank was fairly balanced anyway, and grinding my way through it, I have started to enjoy the Tier 9 actually. I quite like playing it. They have nerfed the accuracy a little bit on the gun tank, which I don't think was necessary, but in all honesty it doesn't make that much a difference with 6.0, because even the the Russian inaccurate guns are still hitting shots in 6.0. So the two replays, the first one I've got here today is on Westfield, and we're going to have a nice game. I quite like this replay mainly because although it's not the biggest of score lines, we have to actually sort of work together with a bit of platoon play between me, Rossi, and Warlock, who's in this game as well, who I didn't notice till later on. But yeah, he's in this game. We have to work together between us to get a win. Yeah, Warlock's just a guy I know through playing the game, and he's a really decent player, so and a good guy, so shout out to him. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. We're on Westfield. Rossi is doing his best to spot the cross, and I was trying to get a few shots in as I can on the IS-7. I actually ended up dumping like 2 of my shells just because he was in, like I'm doing on this Emil hit Cranraven here, I'm dumping my whole shells, which is obviously not a good idea to do really, because you're going to have absolute gimp reload if you go down to your final shell. But it's about your scenarios, and once the Cranraven gets into a hole down position, he's going to be a real nuisance for me to get out of that position. So while he was in the open and I had the shots, I took the decision to fire all my shots to make sure I get as many damage into him as I could. Unfortunately, I ended up bouncing a few of the shots and I only get one into him anyway. But had I got all 3 in, it would have been well worth it. And that's why I do actually, that's a nice thing, the fun thing about playing this sort of tank, but you do have that flexibility. And yeah, I mean, if you want to just play, what you really want to do is just use your first shot to keep your DPM as maximum as possible, and then just use your other 2 shells when you need to. If you can clip out a tank, I mean, it's good. It's completely flexible. That's the beauty of it. Now, on this game of Westfield, as you can see, the majority of the enemy team is in the top of the map than the 1-2 line, and this is going to be a bit of a problem because I'm fully aware of this, and I need to be able to kill these tanks on the other side of the ridge, because if I do that, if I kill this IS-7 and this cranny over the other side, I'll be able to poke up on this ridge to get shots into them and get nice crossfire shots and really help out our team in that 1-2 line. The problem I've got is, with this guy being here, when I'm getting lit up, I overextend on the ridge at the top to help out my team on the 1-2, I'll be able to get, he will be able to get shots into the back of my tank, and obviously I don't want that. So I really need to try and take out this guy in the IS-7, but as you can see, it's proving difficult to do that. We're losing this game 8-12 at the moment, so I am going to pop over to see if I can help my tanks in, just try and weaken some of the guys off, so when they cross, I'm able to put them into a clippable position so I can try and take guns out. You see I get lit there and I'm immediately pulled back because I'm very nervous about getting taken out by the cranny. We see this I7 and thankfully that shot goes in because that was a really important kill, because that's one gun dead behind us now. Now I only have to worry about the cranny, and obviously once he's clipped out he'll be in a long reload and that will give me a window of time to get some shots in. I'm going to have to play like that because at the moment it's just not possible to dig him out from that position, and I don't have the time to relocate to kill him because we are losing up here, as you can see. So I'm poking up looking for shots where I can, just to make sure I can weaken them off or try and take out the guns out of the game. You know, look for the low health tanks, because when you're in that sort of scenario and you're losing by tanks, any tank you take out is going to be really important. I get lucky because I blocked a shot for the T57 there, and he then gets taken out. And yeah, no, that was important because obviously T57's got an absolutely terrifying clip to come across. As it stands, I've not actually managed to, I'm not taking any damage, which is brilliant. So I can afford to take a few shots if I need to, and I probably am going to need to here, because as you can see, we've got our defence on the 1-2 line is now being destroyed, and it's important that I get the damage into these guys before they cross over and start heading towards our cap. If it's like I say, if I keep looking at this cranny, if he was dead now, I wouldn't be. I'd feel quite comfortable with, really, because I'd be able to use all the ridge to be able to get shots in. I've just noticed that there was, I think Warlock was there to my right, and he's starting to move over to try and to deal with these guys pushing down the 7 line towards our cap now. I've just bounced another shot off the cranny, and thankfully he gets taken out by our E6, so we no longer have to concern about ourselves with this guy, and we just need to concern ourselves with the tough pushing into the cap. And that's what I'm going to turn to now, is to try and get a shot into this E50M, you know, see if we can clip him out. We get one nice shot into him there. We're going to try and get another shot into him if we can. We don't get one in, but Warlock manages to finish him off, and that's evened up the scores and put us back into a 5 versus 6. So this is a lot more winnable situation here. This Emil 1 is popped right over. I'm going to pull back, so I do have cover behind me, as you see, from the heavy tank on the other side. So I know he's, as long as I can keep this guy lit up, as I just dodged the fun police there, he's going to get shot. So I've waited now, and now I'm going to try and clip him out as quick as I can, because Warlock seems to be in a bit of bother. This E75 is pushing right round him. So I'm going to ignore this VK, I'm going to let him shoot me, it doesn't matter, I can't take my hit points the next game, and I'm going to focus this E75, even if it means I'm going to take a shot off of the VK in front of me, because it's important to keep that gun in the game, keep my teammate in the game there. Sometimes people would be scared to poke there because they think, oh no, I might get shot by the VK, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can't take the hit points the next game, and it's far more important to help your team out in that scenario, because now we've kept the score at 4 versus 3. And I'm feeling pretty confident at this point, because most of the danger is gone. As long as we can avoid getting shot by the fun police, I've got a lot of health. I can eat one from the 60 TP if I need to, and then you know, potentially clip him out. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot more confident. The main danger is done, and we've still got Rossi alive there as well, so to help us out. So it's looking pretty good. So this 60 TP, I say, we can eat a shot off of him if we need to. We can clip him out now. So I'm prepared to take a shot of an E2. I actually block it off with our gun, and then we manage to finish him off. And it's just us and this pattern and the fun police left. Like I say, so we managed to turn that around, because it wasn't looking very promising at one point. You know, we was really in an awkward situation. And you had to keep your sort of map alertness, you know, map awareness about, otherwise we could have easily ended up losing that game. So yeah, that's why I quite enjoyed this first replay. Now we've just got the one fun police left, a glorious kill everyone wants to get. At this point, Rossi's just told me that we're on for a brother in arms, so he said, can you put one into him, and then I'll get the kill. So that's what I did, and I gave up the top gun there to get us the brother in arms. But yes, that's it for the first replay. So if you can see, I got 5 kills, 4,299 damage, 1,700 assistance, ace tanker, brother in arms, and all in all, pretty good game from a losing position. So yeah, stay with us. We've got, as always, one more replay to come. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, thank you for staying with us. And here we are for the final replay of the video. And this time we're platooned up with Big Rossi again, and we're on Elwenberg. We are actually very top tier on this particular game. There's one fun police in the game, and a couple of light tanks. So yeah, it's pretty good matchmaking. The only thing which can sometimes happen when you're really good matchmaking in this particular tank is you can almost well personally anyway, sometimes I like it to be like lots of tier 10 tanks, just I've got a lot more hit points for me to deal with, and hopefully like make the game last a little bit longer. Not always. Mainly when I'm in a big platoon, like if I'm in a 3-man platoon or something like that. If you're playing solo, it's not so bad. But yeah, we're on Ellenberg. We are top tier, and it's one fun police to concern ourselves with. We're going to do our usual thing, and it's push down to the 8-9 line at the start. See if we can get any shots in, see if we can get any early damage, maybe some early assistance, and then work out just what's happening in the battle from there. You know, we can see how many people we spot at this line, and then we can work out how many people are going to be there and whether we need to actually turn back. But quite often on Erlenberg, it can end up being quite a slow-paced game, just because you seem to get a lot of campers either side that just sort of camp on their ridge, and it can get a little bit boring, to be honest. Having said that, it's a map which I don't mind. So we was debating about poking up high on that ridge there, which would have been a mistake, and we could have lost a lot of hit points for it. So we're going to take the far safer approach and see if we can get any shots into this Progetto 66 there, which presented us a nice little shot in there. We high rolled to 4-2-2, which is a good start to the game. I am concerned about the fun police because he can hit me here. I'm fully aware he can hit me here. I'm just taking the gamble that he won't at the start, pretty much. I just want to try and get some damage in. So we're poking up, see if we can get a nice one through the Leo. We're going to pull back, we're not going to dump our second shell. We want to try and maximise our DPM. And there's a real no need to shoot all my shells at the moment. That would really give my damage potential. So at the moment I'm just going to stick to firing a single shot, unless I need to kill someone. So we're going to try and get another shot into this Leo, which we do. Pull back, and it's going well so far. You know, managed to get some nice shots in, and we're just going to pull back. And I've noticed there's not a lot which is really contesting us, which lets me think that they're either full camping on this bomb, or they're full sending the other side of the map, and I'll need to get back to defend my base. So with that in mind, I'm hoping to try and, with my team, get rid of this Progetto 66, so that I can then return back to my base and make sure there's nothing pushing down the opposite side, down the sort of KJ area, because I've got my big friend Rossi in the Tortoise, and then we can try and light some tanks up for him. But as predicted, we get absolutely slapped by the fun police. He tried to send us to jail, took half our hit points away. And yeah, that wasn't very pleasant, wasn't very nice of him. This Progetto's full sended out, so we're going to try and take this guy out while we've got the opportunity. We do. At this point, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try and just dump this shell here in to see if I can get an extra pen, and then I'm turning around because I don't want to get shot by that artillery anymore. That's why I dumped that shell, because I knew it didn't matter if I had to reload, because I'm about to sort of relocate to the other side. So I'm not going to push that side any further. The artillery is shooting at me. If they're all camping on their base, it's going to be really awkward for me to push that side anyway. So, you know, we've had our little bit of fun. We've had a little bit of damage at the start. We're getting out of there. We're going to pull back and push down the opposite side and see if we can spot any of their campers. I was just going to see if I can get any side shots in there before we move. But like I say, Rossi said there's definitely stuff down the KJ line at the moment. And he thinks there's multiple enemies down there. So because of that, my plan is to actually sort of push out and almost do what the light tank probably should be doing, and actually spot that line to get the assistance. This Conqueror's got spotted and caught in the open, and he's really not going to last that long with a Tortoise and stuff there. We're going to try and get a shot into him on the move. We do, and you can see how quickly he gets destroyed. So we've got the massive DPM of the Tortoise backing us up here. We're full sending. We know we're probably going to take a couple of shots doing this, but as long as I can get there with some hit points, I hope we should be able to pick up some nice assistance. Unfortunately, we do get spotted by the Panzer there, the TD there, the waffle moving in, and we are getting shot at. We managed to bounce a few shots, and you know, we managed to bounce another shot, which is nice. We're trying to get in low so we can't get shot anymore. We do eat one there. This is not too bad. You know, I'm quite happy with that. You know, I've got here, I still got 800 hit points, but I've got where I needed to go. At this point, I'm just still driving, just about hugging this ridge, just so the artillery is awkward for him to get a shot into me, just in case he was pre-aiming me at the moment. I wanted to make it difficult, and now my job is to try and spot and light stuff for Rossi to shoot and our tanks behind us to shoot at before then moving in. I'm thinking there's probably something at K1, which is awkward because it means I can't push this that well because I'm caught in a crossfire of 2 angles. So I'm sort of having to slowly push up just to try and light stuff. And it might even come down to that Rossi actually has to push up with me, but at the moment he does have a few shots, and you can see I'm going to start pick up a little bit of assistance there. We've got these 2 tanks there, which are not a massive problem for me. It's just the fact that I know there's something at K1, and I'd ideally like to push down that K line to get shots, easier shots into this VK and that Polish tank. But I don't want to get double tapped by the Stone Cold, or sorry, double tapped by whatever is in that area. Before I move out. Spoiler, it is a Stone Cold. But yeah, so I'm having to look. This is where I'm going to try and make my move now, try and make my play. I'm going to get into the lower ground, so it's not so easy for the enemy team to get shots into me as I'm progressing. And as I got lit up there, this is where I know there's an enemy down at K1. That's because Rossi has told me shots were coming from there. And this is where I don't want to over peak and get shot at. Rossi's actually pushing up now, so I'm just going to try and get some shots in to try and help him on his advance. And there you go, there's the Stone Cold, which has just got spotted to our left. We also light up this E50, which was sitting in the bush. I am going to dump my whole mag here, mainly because he's on full health, and I want to get him to as low health as possible, as we just bounced one off the Stone Cold, in order to make him move from that location, because I really don't want to have to worry about 3 lines of fire, because it's going to be a bit awkward, as well as the fact that I'm obviously concerned that I might get hit by the Fun Police. But Rossi's moving up in the Tortoise, and that's, let's face it, the Tortoise is generally always going to get shot at by artillery because it's slow, it can't avoid the shell, and it's easy hit points. As you see, as right on cue there, the Fun Police has tried to ruin Rossi's game, but he's having to move up because we need to sort of progress this game somehow. And it wasn't possible to do it all by myself there, and the shots wasn't quite presenting itself for Rossi. Rossi's unfortunately getting shot by this Stone Cold, so I know I need to finish that guy because I can't have him keep poking up and getting shots on us there. But it's awkward that this E50's there, so I wanted to land a shot into this E50 just to make him back off, and then basically able to then move in and kill this Stone Cold. But it's not happening, so I've decided, you know what, I've got to take the gamble. If I eat the shot off the E50, so be it. This guy's got to die. We do finish him off. Unfortunately, that E50 is backed off. So now it's just a case of getting behind this building so the artillery can't shoot us. We're now sort of making it difficult for that, the artillery to get a shot. That's why we're progressing this way. And then it's still close, but it's almost clean-up time now. The hard work has been done, and that was trying to get to this location. You see, we've had to use a lot of completely. I started off on the other side of the map. I've done a lot of miles, used a lot of fuel to get around this map. But that's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you can't just go to one location and expect it to just work for you. Sometimes you have to rethink and try a different plan, and that's exactly what we did. So we now got 3 tanks remaining and the Fun Police. I really want to get revenge on that Fun Police for earlier, but we're going to push across, and it is clean-up stage. This is the stage where it's important to sort of keep ahead of that damage, so you can just maximise the last bit of damage you can of the game, just to give you that decent game at the end there. And you're kind of really hoping that something's going to be full hit points at this point. It's always nice. But this VK's crossing, he's trying to run. This is the beauty of having that autoloader. We're going to decide that we're going to use our 2 shots to finish him off, which we do. We're going to leave that light tank, and we're going to go straight for the prize and see if we can take out that Fun Police. wherever he's hiding. Obviously, we would like not to get shotgunned as well, because that's always very depressing end to the game. But yeah, we're going to have a look for this run, please. We can see he's over there. We're hoping he's not looking into us. We snap one. He is looking our way. Squeaky bum time. But we managed to get that kill in and finish off the game with another Brothers in Arms. So yeah, that's it for this replay. Let's just get to that results and we can see how we got on. So it's another Brother in Arms. Have a good game between two of us. 5 kills, 5,000 damage, just over 2,000 assistance, I think. Or yeah, round about that. Yeah, 2.5 assistance and 1,250 block and another ace tanker. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!